We have on the show right now the Lagos Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC Corps Commander Olusegun Ogedengbe. Welcome to the show, sir. Yes. In my mind, it was just Ogedengbe. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
So he'll be discussing the initiative for this month to make sure people know what to do to avoid speeding, overloading, and avoid unsafe tires in order to ensure they arrive safely at their destinations. He will also be discussing safety parameters for the Ember Months, especially as we approach the Yuletide season. You can join the conversation on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
The holiday seasons are here. Many people will be traveling very soon. What have you observed so far in this season, and what is your advice to commuters?
I don't think there's anything quite unique, especially this year, because in the last 7 months, we've been battling the issue of traffic gridlock along the corridor, and it's quite huge. It's been a big embarrassment to virtually all of us. So I would say it has gone a long way to really prepare us for this season. So we were waiting, and we are here already. So all the machineries have been put in place. We have our men, the operatives are there 24 hours, and we also started our sensitization program, which is a uniquely selected theme for this year as a result of the research that have been carried out in the past month. That is, avoid speeding, overloading, and unsafe tires for you to arrive safely. And that is the tempo.
Unsafe tires.
Under where we are operating now.
You took the issue of the Lagos-Ibadan expressway out of my mouth, because that was going to be my first question, because, you know, while the construction is going on, which is something that we need, we also need proper traffic management, and it's not been so evident. There's also been assault and criminality on that axis. So I wanted to know, in fact, how your scheduling is on that road. Do you people still close after certain work hours, or your men, are they always there 24/7? How are they managing that road exactly in facts and bullet points?
Last year, I made a statement in one of the media houses that we're going to expect that whatever we were experiencing on Lagos-Ibadan Express in the form of gridlock will be child's play compared to what will happen later when we get closer to Lagos. Because we are not treating a virgin land. We are treating a road that is already existing, that is being plied by huge traffic on daily basis. When we're talking about Biafra, Mowe axis, we're talking of construction in transit. But this one, we're talking of convergence of all the vehicular activities heading towards the same direction. And we prepared. And the unfortunate thing about that terrain is that there's no room for alternative movements where you can say, okay, let's access alternative routes. Because the one they're even calling alternative routes is a NNPC pipeline, which is even riskier for anybody to say is going to do any major work there. So we are all expected to concentrate on that major road. We were prepared. We prepared the men. And on daily basis, you agree with me that anytime you always see FRSC operatives there, but we cannot be there 24 hours. Because naturally, as late as 9, 10, depending on incidents, when there are crashes, we'll recall back to save the situation. But for me to say I line my men up there for 24 hours, I will not be saying the truth here. But the major part of the day, that's from morning till around 9, 10. They are always there. I was opportune to meet with one sage, and this issue of Kara came up. And he confirmed to me that he was in that traffic for 4 hours. One time coming from Abeokuta. I'm talking of the Nobel laureate. And he said his boys were complaining, but he was not complaining because he believed that that is his own share of what development that is expected to take place on that road. And that is what we are all missing. I picked it up immediately because, you know, it's been a thing bothering my mind that why are we having this crisis? Before now, we were having huge traffic, and the road was not as huge as this. We were still, even one at times. And when there's free flow, every other person will actually go. The share of everybody's burden is for you to know that, oh, this is a special season. It can be business as usual. When it used to be 1 hour. But now, because they are doing construction, the same thing goes with when there's a crash along that road. For the period we are going to clear that crash, is the burden all of us will have to share. But what do we see? People will start, impatient, they will jump queue. Some will go against the traffic, which is criminal, because it's an attempt to kill somebody.
Yes.
And it's even worse now, because they ban use of motorbike from Lagos. They've all moved to Ogun State, and they are picking people from Ibadan in rove against the traffic to Lagos.
Okay, let me take a few more questions.
So, well, I know that the Federal Road Safety Commission isn't meant to conduct traffic, but it is sometimes a bit disheartening when we see traffic situations and your men are standing. It's not my job. So they stand.
That happens in Lagos a lot.
They are looking.
Because it's last man.
His last man's job or police is not my brief. And I wish we can have a reorientation where, even though it is not your core brief to conduct traffic, your presence should mitigate people from disobeying the law right in front of you, even though it isn't your job. What would you say to that, sir?
I'm hearing this for the first time. I'm telling you the fact. When I say I'm hearing this, if I say in the last 7 months, I've been managing traffic along the corridor. You can imagine, we started with Otedola. His later, even last month, came around to join us because we were treating kilometers 0 to 3, and our men were there. And you realize that Otedola is actually flowing because there's no room for shunting. And that's the difference between Otedola and Kara. And while we were managing Otedola, Kara came up, and I still moved my men there. Trace, if you are moving, you hardly see trace at that corridor.
Yes.
That's the burden I've taken. It would be irresponsible. It would be irresponsible of any of my men to see a gridlock and start doing patrol.
But it happens. What she just said happens a lot on the Badagry Expressway. Okay. And the officers are my friends, but they do. They continue to do patrol, check cars while the traffic is behind. And once you're able to come out of the traffic, they stop you. I even had it just last month. This area as well, in inward Lagos. So usually I just excuse them and say, because last month exists in Lagos, they're leaving it for last month.
It's not really, it's not totally that. It's misappropriation of discretion. Because if you are, like now, there's a problem. I do caution them on that. Look at that car. For you to now go to the bottleneck and start arresting is an indication that you don't know what you are doing. So if I receive information from members of the public which has come severally, they didn't say they are not controlling traffic, but they pick issues on the fact that this is not the appropriate place for them to do enforcement. And the next thing, I send signal to them to evacuate that place.
Because of social media, I think Nigerians are able to see that madness is not exclusive to Africa. Around the world, everybody can go crazy.
Yes.
I think people are now saying that it's clear that without laws, without putting certain things in place, anybody can go crazy. And I'm saying that to say this, that the least we could do is knowing that people will take one way. But you see, just like you said, Otedola, nobody takes one way because it's been cordoned off.
Yes.
We need to do that across. But yes, there's no way to detour. So we have no choice but to enter these 2 lanes. Then, once that is done, where people clear, you can't get into the shoulders or to the side road. You maintain that sanity. Secondly, if you have well-lit roads, if we can have electricity, when it's well-lit, people feel safer, where I can see everything. But when it's like, it's dark, you don't want to be there, you are now finding ways to move around. I find it because they want criminals to take over. So people will try to, is it flight or... fight or flight. Because I don't want to be in a situation where I can be robbed. So I find a way to move into the shoulder so I can get off this place because it's too dark. So if we put certain things in place, people will follow the rules. But sometimes as if things are not in place, that's why people finding ways to circumvent the laws.
It's just an indirect way of justifying what is wrong. Because yes, I spoke about the issue of a speed limit one time, and somebody came up with the implication of if you limit me to 100 kilometers per hour and I come across armed robber, and I needed to go at 160. In the course of going on 160, you lose control and get yourself killed or you kill somebody. If we know that we are having crisis with security, why not divert your attention to security? Why not say, because we know it's unrealistic for now, for government to say we are going to line up the express with traffic street lights. So why can't we face the reality now and call on security agents and say, oh, we are having this crisis. When there are hold-ups and people are kept late, then there's need for security men to be, which has been coming and they've been intervening. And you recall that it's in the course of trying to struggle out of this gridlock that they end up blocking the entire thing. So what you are trying to prevent, so what eventually happens? We are all there stopped.
Yes.
You know, one of the questions I always say I would like to ask you people when I see you is, what percentage of Nigerians would you say are good drivers?
Oh.
The truth. What percentage are truly good drivers? And then what can we do as a state, as a nation to make it different? Because we hear of other countries, we hear, oh, they drive well.
Good driver in Nigeria.
You know, they go through a proper driving school. Yes. They start from when they are 16 and make sure that they... But we don't really have that culture here in Nigeria. How many people would you say, out of 100 drivers I see a day, how many would you say are good drivers?
Did you go through driving school? Do you
yes,
drive?
Yes, I went through
driving school.
Yes, I did that.
Rather than giving you a specific percentage, I would rather narrate it this way. Okay. That what is the percentage of Nigerian drivers that are locationally sane?
Locationally sane.
Yes.
At the time when...
Okay, as in that moment.
Yes, that the decision they make behind steering is not determined by the situation they find themselves. Okay. It's not that they are not learned. It's not that they don't know how to drive. It's not that they don't know the traffic rules. But they are being judged. Their sense of driving is being judged by what is happening at that moment. The man that you just narrated now, whoever that passed through that driving school, finding himself at Kara in that gridlock, has he been applying what he learned at the driving school? Because he's in a hurry to get home. He sees an opening and faces against the traffic.
Very few go through driving school.
Before now, I will agree with you. But with the regime that FRSC has put in place in the last few years, where you have to go through, you can't get your driver's license without going through driving school. There could be compromises. I'm not denying that. You understand? But the way, you know, Nigerians now, when you create a process, they will try to... Yes. So the more they create the inroad, the more we try to block it.
When you get someone for traffic infraction, what do you do to them? Do you take them to a place where
if you get to my office now, the corridor, that's the desk where they attend to offenders, you scale the screen there, where people are being tutored on driving. Okay. It's just about 1 hour before you are even allowed to go and make your payment. In fact, I think that's the most verified means of tutoring our offenders. Okay. Because when I go to motor parks to give public enlightenment, I get there maybe around 7. The average driver has picked the first passenger as early as 5 and has gone. When I want to talk to him through radio, like we are doing now, the man that is driving is not even listening to what we are saying. He's listening to music. When I say his pages of newspaper, what do you see? He goes to the pages of where we have sports. So the areas where we reach them is either the church, the mosque, or the lecture we give them when they are arrested. That's why I don't joke with enforcement. The other day I said I arrested 59,000 Lagosians last year. And somebody said, why? And I said, that's the best way to curb a road traffic crash. Because when I arrest you for not having wiper, it's an indication that I don't want you to go and get crashed when rain is falling. When I arrest you for not having tires, that's why I've never been in line with those that say, don't do enforcement within the township. When I arrest you within the township, you will not go and get yourself killed on the highway. That's intelligent patrol. So that's the essence of all the effort we put in place. For today, I would rather give Nigeria, let me say 80% when it comes to driver's license regime, new regime. Because if the Western world are celebrating us, we should know that we are getting there.
So I wanted to ask about the 2 quick questions. One is an acknowledgement of the fact that we've had several engagements. I've had several engagements with FRSC men because I tend to travel to my estates and I pass through the express, so they always stop me. And I had a conversation with someone at Ekpe toll gate. And I was telling him that because right in front of me, 2 guys ran off, and I waited. And I told him sometimes I feel guilty that I'm being punished for waiting. Like, I feel every time I wait, I'm the one that my time gets taken. You check my documents, you will check my license, you will check my sea caution, check my fire extinguisher, then you will not let me go. But you have taken my time. Others that ran away.
They've done their job.
Yes. So he now told me, and I'm actually, he told me that you don't know what we do to them, that we take their details and they get flagged down at other points in time. And I wanted to find out that interagency relationship, can't we have this same set of professionalism going to other agencies like our wonderful Nigerian police force men on the streets, that when you engage them, you can have that kind of conversation with them. I have also dealt with police officers. I've never been able to have that kind of conversation with those I meet on the road. What can we do interagency-wise to ensure that maybe from the recruitment, how do you people do it? That's one. Number two...
Wait, let's answer that first.
Let me just put the second one.
Because
We'll get it's very short. The second question is faded number plates. What can be done concerning faded number plates?
Yeah, reached there.
Okay, as regards the orientation of our men, I think ours is right from the recruitment stage, where we have our vision that is being guided by our mission, and every staff is placed on the same template. This is what, the way we came in, we were rated as an elite corps. An elite corps means you are trying to structure yourself differently from what the society has been used to. But along the line, there could be some measures of derailment because they are also product of the same society. So, and I also want to stand on behalf of other agencies here. But when you look at the echelon of all the agencies, there is no single leadership that will tell its men to go and misbehave on the road. But what you see out there is quite different from, because I know every Wednesday I give lectures to my men. Every morning before they go on the road, they are giving briefing that if anything goes wrong and you are coming back to FRSC, you are going to pay for it. And I also know, because severally I've been invited by the police and other agencies to come and give them talk. We do have that collaboration. And if there are programs being run by LASMA, they do invite my men. I do invite them to our own too. So if that's why you don't need to keep quiet. Our judgments are normally run on social media. Administrations are not run on social media. I've said that severally. If you have an infraction against my men, call me. My office is there, my number is there. But if you throw it on social media, there are two things you are doing to this nation. You are sending fear to outside world because you have downplayed or you have downrated your law enforcement agencies. So when they are coming into the country, rather than seeing them in positive light, they see them as, what do you call it now, Dracula. Yes. They see them as scary. So, and those other Western countries are not doing that to their own. Yes. Is it not, it's not that there are no issues out there.
Black Lives Matter.
But we just see, when we watch TV, we see wonderful policemen, we see wonderful enforcement agencies. But here, the only one you see on social media is the one that is collecting bribe. You've not shown us the one that is saving lives. Yes. You've not shown us the one that is clearing road traffic crashes. You've not shown us the one that go to Kara and see the man that is controlling traffic and throw it on social media. So until we get there, we might not really. I
want to say something that might get me in trouble.
Yes.
Because I feel that. Go ahead, let me let you talk.
Okay. So on the issue of the number plate, we call it number plate violations. And there are so many indices that fall under that. One, broken number plates. Faded number plates, non-use of number plate at all. All this falls under the categories of safety and security. Security in the sense that when your number plate is faded, the National Road Traffic Regulation says 60 meters away, I should be able to view your number plate. Okay, we are condemning it, we are reacting. But if your vehicle is stolen now, and you tell policeman, my vehicle is stolen, and this is the number, and it's faded, and it passed through the police checkpoint, how would they know it? If somebody does it and run away, how do we pick the number? I've just told you we stop running after vehicles on the road because we have a robust database.
So what do you do?
What you do is that when your number plate is faded, you apply to Motor Vehicle Administration for replacement. And it's going to be replaced.
That's MVA.
MVA, Lagos State MVA, is not road safety. And don't go through any tout. Go get across. I can even give you the number of the GM Because that's what he said.
We like to cut corners. I just call somebody.
Please don't cut
I
corners.
go to MVA
because
every year
when-
for
when-
dealer number. You have to go to allow side.
I
You don't have
know.
outlets.
You know what I. Now that we know we are having issues, if I tell you here that driver's license is 10,350 naira per 3 years, you people end up calling me that it's 30,000 naira they paid.
Yeah.
But when you get to me, I will direct you
How
appropriately.
many of us need to get
You know what I'm saying? When you
Within
get to
5
me,
years,
I mean when you get to the
Office.
don't go to the office and start looking for. They will approach you at the gate.
Yes.
Okay.
You see somebody in Mufti who will say, no, tell him I want to meet.
And you want to
the,
come
I
to
want
that
to,
day, that day.
I want to
Office.
get to the office and do the right thing. This one, I will give you the number of Mrs. Mkilanko. You can approach. It will direct you appropriately because
I
it's
think
like
also it's another
everybody
way
fits.
to remind Nigerians that listen, we always like to call somebody. I always say it all the time. You want to work at TVC, you call Murai, you call Tokwe. Just walk. Have you walked to the gate of TVC and said, please, I'd like to apply?
Properly.
Have you gone there and said they sent you away? I mean, go there first and say, are you applying? Have you go to their website to see apply here? Nobody does that. They rather call. I know the MD. Oh, Murai
Yes.
works there. So same thing. You want to get driver's license. You want to do something. You just want to call somebody. Go there.
Go to the office.
And ask for the receptionist. Then he or she would direct
They will direct you
you what to do.
appropriately. Somebody was accosted one time. He said they collected 30,000 naira from him, and it was in my office. And he said, where did you see the person? He said, under the tree. I said, my office is not under the tree. And I wear uniform to office, so it's your fault.
We have to wrap up. I think we have to go for who wants to be a millionaire. But go ahead very quickly.
Okay, no, I just had this. I picked a story today on an incident that happened on the Owo Road with one of your officers. And I'd just like to hear your views on that to speak to Nigerians because he was accused of assaulting a pregnant woman.
Yes, I had the same story, and I actually read through, and I was also made to contact the sector commander of Ondo State. He actually confirmed that there was an incident where they had an encounter with the boss, but there was nothing like assault, and it was more of a blackmail just to get their way. And that was exactly what happened. FRSC are not trained to assault anybody, and we are not going to take it. We are not going to take it as management, but rather we have been receiving assaults from members of the public.
All right, that's all we can take. I have to thank you very much for coming to shed light on this.
Thank you very
much. Hope that people have a safe trip this holidays.